Sorry, I'm interrupting. Let me give you the latest example. The example of Mr. Partho Chatterjee, who used to be a minister in the TMC government, and one of his close associates. Both of them were arrested a few days ago. Now, of course, ED is well within its right to arrest Mr. Partho Chatterjee because they have interrogated him, they have found him non-cooperative, and they have arrested him. But subsequent to his arrest, the material that's coming out into the public domain, which is the seizure of the 20 crores of cash in this Arpita Mukherjee's house, or today, even as we speak right now, counting machines have been brought in from SBI to a house that was supposedly locked out, completely locked out, and there's cash that's been recovered from there. All of this is happening post-arrest. So my simple contention is, if for all provisions of IPC and CRPC this does not apply, how can this apply for PMLA? That all the evidence seems to be coming after arrest. So the opposition's contention is, you arrest first and then the evidence comes out.
It is not essentially, even in the other cases of IPC also, when accused is called for interrogation on prima facie, and if he is not cooperating with the investigating authorities, the custodial interrogation can be taken even at that point of time. It is not merely that it's only at that point of time. No accused, no criminal will himself come out and will try to give the evidence in regard to his own self.
Yes.
It is always there. It is the investigating agencies we keeps on finding. And till the time they have a tangible evidence, they call and they only interrogate and investigate. But if by any chance the accused or who himself is feels guilty in himself, if he himself is not cooperating, in that event the custodial interrogation becomes essential.
Okay.
Now, one thing more which I want to say is, this PMLA is enforced since last 20 years. Why hue and cry is being made now? Why it is being made now? Just because whenever some influential person comes out, it comes out to that yes, now the hue and cry has to be made. There was one, Supreme Court has also said there was one line today that it is going to be a bitterness for the democracy. Democracy means what? Democracy is for the common man. If you really want some changes, if you really feel something was wrong out there this should have been there for the common man also.
Okay.
It never happens. In 20 years,
I think this common man point is a valid one, and I want to ask Dr. Ajoy Kumar this. I'm just giving the example of the National Herald case, right? Now, you could argue either ways that political parties have the right to donate to whoever they want to, so on and so forth. My understanding of the law, I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding of the law is, as per the Representation of People's Act, a political party cannot lend money to any enterprise, whether it is a commercial enterprise, not-for-profit enterprise, whatever it is, be that as it may. The rights of the common man, or the rights of, let's say, ordinary Congress supporters who donated money to this party, that money, 90 crores of it, was given as loan to AJL. Now, in the case of those ordinary people, supporters, workers who contributed to your party, where do their rights go? Because they were not lending you money or donating money to you so that you can lend money to a newspaper company.
So let me ask, I need to answer, so I'll answer your question, but first you need to hear me out. The previous speaker said that, the common man, so the common man was Subhendu Adhikari, the common man was Mukul Roy, and the common man was Himanta Biswa Sarma, who, according to Smita Prakashji, the BJP is wearing a badge of honor. It should be because they were able to save their people who joined their party. My question is, what are we saying? We have suddenly become holier than thou. Then I would request you, what about the electoral bonds? Isn't that killing democracy? The worst thing which has happened to the Indian democracy is electoral bonds. Let's leave aside that. Let's leave aside about 100 crores MLAs giving in Bombay, FIR being registered, but no problem with ED. BJP, as long as BJP Changaisi, everything is okay. So my question is, sir, let us not pretend that this is for common man, for Indian nation. Misuse, I told CBI misuse during earlier regime, bad thing. It came to bite everybody else in power later on. Yes. It will come to bite the BJP later on. Yes. Is it good for democracy? No. And the other issue is that all these people who joined after making the biggest robbery in different states, Mukul Roy, Shubhendu Adhikari, Hemant Biswa Sarma, who you said was the biggest chore, is suddenly Ganga Jal mein dubki lagaya, ED ki bimari khatam.
Dr. Saab, answer my question. No.
So, no, one second.
Answer my question.
One second. Okay, now your question is. The question is, this not-for-profit company is still registered? If there was any wrongdoing, the BJP didn't cancel for past 8 years, they've not cancelled the not-for-profit, Young Indian not-for-profit registration. Second issue, they said 2,000 crores and all this nonsense. Income tax return of AJL, his evaluation of the property at 300 crores. So I'm just saying, here is a country where people come on TV and spew lies after lies. And my question is whether it's ED for us or ED for them. And if you think ED is so good, then 0.5% conviction rate, sir. That means you can't prove 99.5%. And you come on TV and make all allegations. My question is, if you are so of such integrity and love for the country, 0.5%.
That's a fair question. I'll ask Tom that. I'll ask Tom that.
Please ask Shubhendu Adhikari, Himantu Biswa Sharma.
I asked those questions. I asked that question. One of my previous questions was that.
Ask them.
Let me ask Tom Vadakkan,
exactly.
the record of the Enforcement Directorate, Tom Vadakkan, this is what the opposition has also been pointing out. For example, in the year 2021-22, the Enforcement Directorate has registered 1,180 prosecution complaints. 5 years ago, it was only 148. So the increase has been almost 10 times, and yet the convictions, only 23 convictions have happened in 17 years of the existence of the PMLA. That is a conviction rate of 0.5%. Please defend this.
Zaka, there's no defense necessary here. Look at the timeline. The Gandhis are on bail. And from when? This is not a case that started off with the Modi government. This was a case that was there earlier. So when PMLA came into existence, this case, your timeline is based on the total figure. The aggregate is not to be taken at this juncture. We have gotten to work, the work in progress. Now this whole issue about Dr. Ajoy saying, what about Mr. Adhikari? I can tell you that. Work in progress. No claim. I think one of the panelists did mention this. No case is closed.
No, sir.
Okay, Dr.
Tom.
It is not.
Tom.
It is not like what
Tom,
you said about
Tom,
the vice
don't
president.
insult my intelligence on national
philosophy-
TV. Tom.
The philosophy,
Don't insult my intelligence, please,
The evil philosophy. You know, you talked about evil philosophy. I think this is the evil philosophy.
Evil
you're
philosophy
following.
of the BJP, I will
using
still
that
say
word
the
for
RSS
you.
evil,
This
evil,
is the philosophy.
hateful philosophy
I
of the
repeat,
BJP. I would still say that.
Dr. Ajay, I know you. You choose your word very correctly.
And some of you
I'm
cut my
repeating
video,
it to
which
you.
is pretty cool again. Good video editing.
We didn't cut
No,
anything.
no. One second. Let's not go into past issues. I want to give the final word to Smita Prakash, and I think it comes back to the question that no matter whether the Supreme Court says or whoever says, the opposition is fixated on this narrative now. And it's not just the Congress. The TMC is saying this, the DMK is saying this, the Shiv Sena was saying this, that all opposition parties are fixated on this narrative that the NDA government, the Modi Sarkar, is out to get them by using agencies like ED, IT, CBI, etc. In the case of CBI, at least, for whatever it's worth, there is the outward pretension that it is an independent agency. In the case of ED, ED is directly responsible and comes under the Ministry of Finance. ED is now doing the majority of so-called quote-unquote criminal investigation in this country, particularly when it comes to opposition parties.
Yeah. Zaka, I think you're right, because it's a signal to, to most of us as to which way the political spectrum is heading in the coming years. Because, the entire ED, all these cases, the process is the punishment in most cases. And now the court has also got in, and getting bail is going to be extremely difficult. So political parties will be hard pressed to retain the accused in the party. It's not enough just talking about conviction and all, even the accused, because of the optics of it. So the parties which are other than the Congress, it's clear, in the Congress, it's clear that the Gandhis will now never let go of the stewardship of this party, because they need this